Hello, I'm Ignat Solovey and you are watching issue 12 English of FlightTV, the only Russian TV program about general aviation. In this issue, we'll tell you about the first day of the second stage of the first helicopter racing World Cup, or specifically, the racing fender and the racing slalom. This production is supported by International Academy of Helicopter Sport. Helicopter Racing World Cup is the idea of Irina Grushina, the president of Russian Helisports Federation and deputy FAI president in rotorcraft sports. This spring, during the FAI Rotorcraft Commission meeting, she proposed to hold a Helicopter Racing World Cup, in addition to the World Championship, as to make helicopter sports more popular and spectacular. The cup winner is defined after all stages that are held in different countries.
Different stages of the World Cup are held and each competitor gets rating points. In the end of the year, that points are summarized, but only points of 3 stages where each competitor performed the best. Helicopter sport is expensive and not everyone has an opportunity to attend all stages. That's why we at FAI Rotorcraft Commission decided that while it's possible to participate in 5 or 6 stages, only 3 best results would be used for ranking.
In this year, 2017, the first stage of the World Cup was already held in the UK on June 3rd and 4th. The third stage in Belarus is to be held on July 29th and 30th. Then stages in Germany, Austria and Poland will follow. Helicopter community liked the idea, but certain measures had to be taken to prevent Russian dominance similar to that observed at World Championships, where Russian crews compete for first to fourth places, leaving everyone else behind. Thus, it was decided to allow only 5 representatives from each participating country.
There is a limitation imposed. No more than 5 crews from each country can participate in each stage of the World Cup. We have, of course, more than 5 willing crews, but that's an exception, characteristic only for Russia. In other countries, sometimes it's hard to find even 3 or 4 crews, let alone 5.
Helicopter races at the World Cup are held using playoff system in slalom and fender. 5 Russian, 4 Austrian, 4 Belarusian and 2 Ukrainian crews participated in Russian stage of the World Cup. 7 crews fell off during qualification flights, and the remaining 8 continued elimination contest until 2 wins of 1 crew in each pair. The rules of slalom and fender at the World Cup are different from those at national and world championships. At the Cup, visual appeal is the keystone, so speed is more important than precision. There are classic slalom and classic fender. There are racing slalom and racing fender. These tasks are really different and cruise results show that. The standings upper part in racing is really different from that in classic competition. Despite the 5 crews per country limit in the World Cup, semi-finals and finals turned out almost completely Russian again. The only foreign team to compete for the 3rd or 4th place were Ukrainians. Wolf-Dietrich Tesak, Austrian former chief trainer who now judges the competition, says that Austrians intentionally sent young and untrained team to Russia so that the guys would learn here. The most promising Austrian helicopter sportsman is Thomas Morgenstern, 3-time Olympic and 8 times world champion in ski jumping.
Thomas Morgenstern is a professional in sport, but not in helicopter sport. He stopped ski jumping 2 years ago, and there he was the best in the world. Now he changed over to helicopters and he is professional in training because he knows what's in training is going on, what he has to put in mentality and also in flying, but you cannot compare it now with the best pilot, the Russian pilot, because he step by step he will come up to this qualification. He take it very serious. Today, when you ask me how was he in this competition, they were a little bit nervous. It was not the best flight for him and for Stefan. That's the level we expected, not more. And they going on and they are satisfied, and I think next year we come back and fight against the Russian.
The utmost respect command the mid-2 crews who made it to the World Cup semi-finals and finals. Particularly, the crew of Air Force Sports Club, Viktor Degtyaryar and Petr Vasilyev, who won over Andrei Orechov and Vadim Sazonov, flying Robinson R-44. It was all good in slalom, where we made it to the final. Fender was little worse, our machines lack some power, but we are at semifinals now and we'll fight for the third place. It was an understatement by Victor about lacking some power. In reality, the competition of Me-2 and R-44 isn't equal. Me-2, which history started more than 55 years ago, is much heavier and has more inertia, and hydropowered joystick is much harder to pull than featherweight handle of R-44. Nevertheless, Me-2 crews won separate tasks and Russian national championships numerous times in 2007, 2012 and 2015. Yes, we did it all right. Probably then Robinson pilots didn't possess perfect piloting techniques. Now they mastered their machines and also the techniques of handling bucket and fender cargo, so they are tough rivals these days. We count only on their mistakes. Our Me-2 weighs about 3 tons dry, while Robinson is just 700 kilos. So you may imagine that our helicopter is much harder to speed up and slow down, while with Robinson it's much easier. The next World Cup stage, the third one, will be held in Belarus on July 29th and 30th this year. Alexander Center, who participated in British and Russian stages, says that private general aviation in Belarus develops nicely in recent years. They have about 250 private aircraft registered. Not bad for a country with 9.5 million population. What's more important is that helicopter sports there has government support. That competition I told about is in 10 days. There should be sports minister present, deputy chairman of the National Olympic Committee and almost all officials who define and influence all sports and aviation in particular in Belarus. They will be there. Hardly any other country in the world, I think, can boast with special government meeting and decree about 2018 World Helicopter Sports Championship. There is nothing like that, at least in Russia yet. The competition day ended with a festive dinner. That's also important and integral part of any good event. It allows all participants, judges and organizers to socialize in pleasant atmosphere. It's strange and pleasant thing that happens right now after the competition. In other sports it's called après-ski, when people just chat with a glass of wine, make plans and remember past events. That's really nice, because helicopter society is, well, forged by competition. The adrenaline that is concentrated at the venue here turns into something that bonds people. That's great and very interesting.
Здорово, это интересно.
This 12th issue of FlightTV in English is over. I'm Ignat Solovey, the cameraman and your host here. FlightTV needs your feedback, so please don't hesitate to comment on YouTube, on Facebook or on Instagram. You see the links below. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more and fly safely!